Hi guys! Today I'm going to be showing you in this video how to make this mini witch hat. So it's a super cute little witch hat. We use these a lot for decorating some of our pumpkins, especially around Halloween. I have one of my little mini crochet pumpkins right here. So you can just sit them right on top or sew them to the top of your pumpkins. Make a cute extra little decoration to set around. In one of the other videos, I showed you guys how to do the extra mini witch hat, which is also very cute. Just depends on the size witch hat you want to make. So there's another video for this one that's a little bit more tiny, and I'll do a video that will show you how I make my little pumpkins as well. So if you're interested in the little pumpkins, I'll make that one as well. To get started, we need our yarn. I use a number 4 worsted weight yarn. Today I'm going to be using my 4mm hook. Sometimes I use a 5, kind of just depends on what mood I'm in. I have my scissors. If you need a stitch marker, the large hairpins I find work really well. A yarn needle to kind of just tuck in your ends. And that's about all you need for this project. So to get started, I'm going to make my magic circle and do 6 single crochets in the magic circle. 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll pull that tight. And we're going to have 2 rows of 6 single crochets, so 12 total. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to push this so that we're right side out. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. Next we are going to do an increase row. So we're going to do 6 increases, so we end up with 12 stitches total. So we'll do 1 and 2, 3 and, whoops, 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Now we're going to do 2 rows of single crochet, so we'll end up with 24 stitches total. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And I'm going to try to pull this as tight as I can again. There we go. And then I'm going to take this and tuck it down in the top of this hat. That way it's not getting in my way as I'm working. Okay, next we have our row that increases us out to 18. So we'll do 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7 and 8, 9, 10 and 11, 12, 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. All right, so again, we're going to have 2 more rows of single crochet, 18 in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 18 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. One of the things that I really like about a lot of these patterns that I show you guys how to make is that you can adjust it to make it bigger or smaller as you decide you would like for them to be. So at this point you could totally just do an increase in each stitch around and turn this into its own little mini witch hat, right? You could also continue growing it, doing your increase round and then your single crochet rounds, and make it fit, you know, a regular adult size head. So it's very easy once you kind of pick up on the pattern. You have an increase row and then you have 2 single crochet rows. I would say if you're planning to make one to fit a regular person's head, you're probably going to want to have more single crochet rows than just 2. Because once you get so big, it's just going to be way too big for your head if you're just doing 2 of the regular single crochet rows. But I think it's totally doable if you want to kind of work and measure as you go. So our next row is going to be an increase row. So we're going to increase out to 24. We'll have our increase and then 2 single crochets. So increase 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 and 22, and then 23, 24. Now for this row, we're just going to do 1 row of single crochet, so just 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Here, if you want to crochet a band of color into your witch hat, you would do that for the next 2 rows. They're going to be just 2 rows of 24 single crochets. So if you want a little bit wider band of color around your witch hat, this would be where you would add them. I like to do just a solid black hat and then embroider the colored stripe around, but that's personal preference. So you can leave it all black and embroider it later, or you can do the next 2 rows in the color of your choice. So I'm going to do 2 more rows of 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and another row of 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whoop, that yarn's getting stuck over here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. One of the other great things about doing crochet like this, if you have an extra stitch because you lose count, it's not going to hurt the overall pattern. Okay, so if you end up stopping, I'll say here instead of here, it's not going to mess up your hat. Okay, that's one of the things that I really like about the kinds of patterns that I do. If you do mess up a little bit, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to take the whole project apart to try to go back and count exactly. Some projects, yes, you do need to make sure that you have the right increases and decreases in a specific spot so that it makes the right shape. But with most of the projects that I'm going to show videos for, that's not the case. So in our next row, we're going to do front loop only, and it's going to be another row of 24. I'm going to do, my slip stitch. And remember, I like to do a slip stitch because it makes so that when I get back to this starting point, that next row isn't going to be starting at an extreme height difference. Okay, so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Okay. From here, we're going to do an increase in each stitch all the way around. So you will end up with 48 total. Okay. There's a lot of counting. Oh, we can go through both loops on this. So 1 and 2. I think I'm actually going to use a stitch marker here so I don't have to count to 48. So I'm just going to slip that right on there, and then I can just focus on putting 2 stitches in each one all the way around. Boop. And then I don't lose my place counting. If I need to pull some more yarn out, just keep going. I have one more row after this one. As I was saying before, if you wanted to make this larger, you can. And then of course you would need to make your brim on your hat a little larger as well. So you would do your increases all the way around. And then for this particular one, we're going to do a row of single crochets next. All right, here's my last one for that row. So in the next row, we're going to do just single crochets. If you were going to continue to make your brim larger, then after your row of single crochets, you would probably want to do a row of a single crochet and then an increase, and do that all the way around, because you want to make sure that your brim stays nice and flat as it extends out. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. And then for this hat, I think I've decided on a really pretty light teal that has a metallic sparkle to it. That yarn kind of reminds me of like a moonbeam. We'll go all the way around here, and then we'll make that inside circle to close it up. Almost there. My background music today is brought to you by two tiny tornado toddlers. And this is my last one, so I'm going to do a slip stitch in there to bring that down. And then we'll cut that off, pull our yarn through, take our stitch marker out, and the base of your hat is finished. Okay, so I am going to be putting a little bottom to the hat. It kind of adds a little bit of sturdiness to it so it doesn't just collapse as easy. Also, depending on the size hook you use. So with this hat that I just made, I used the 4mm hook. With this hat with the purple on it, I used the 5mm hook. So there's a tiny bit of size difference. You'll notice a little bit of difference depending on your tension and how stiff the hat is from one to the other, but it's all personal preference, right? So we'll set that one back there. The inside for this one is going to be this really nice light teal, and it has this iridescent metallic thread woven in with it. So like I said, it kind of reminds me of like a moonbeam. So the inside of our hat here ended with a row of 24. So you can do a row of 20 or an increased circle out to 24, which is what I did with the purple one. Or if you don't want it to kind of bubble inwards, you can just do a row of 18, and then you'll skip a couple of these loops on the inside when you are sewing it in. I like to do 24 because it gives a little bit of a bubble up into the hat, and then when I set it on top of my pumpkins, I don't have to worry about the stem keeping it sitting a little too high. So up to you. I'm going to do a circle out to 24. Boop. So we'll do 6 in the circle, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull that tight. Do our increase row of 12. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Now we'll do our 18 row, so 1 and 2, and 3, 4 and 5, and 6, 7 and 8, and then 9, 10, 11, and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So pull the middle of this tight. So you could take and just sew this into place if you wanted it to be nice and flat on the inside. And I think for this one, I might actually do just that. So I'm going to do my slip stitch to make my finishing here a little smoother. Oops. I'm going to cut off probably about 24 inches of a tail here. because as I am sewing this into the hat, I am going to also be making that brim or that color stripe around the outside. So whichever way you prefer to sew is perfectly fine. You can just sew this part to these underneath loops and then it won't show on the outside. As I tend to be a little on the lazier side of things, as I sew this bottom piece in, I will also come out through and make little loops around each of these stitches so you can see that colorful band when it's finished. I'll weave in this little tail and hide the rest of this yarn inside. You can also stuff the inside of the hat if you'd like it to be a little firmer. I typically don't, just because they're nice and firm already and it's not a toy that'll be played with. So I don't feel that it really needs a lot of stuffing to help hold its shape over time. For us, it's more of a decoration to sit on top of pumpkins or to sit, on bookshelves or tables with some of our other fun Halloween decor. So that's it for the little witch hat. I'll finish getting this sewn in so it can go on display with our other ones. Thanks for crocheting with me today, and I'll see you next time.